Not me seeing you fresh in the chat, girl. Just going, start the stream. Start the stream. I'm here. Are you happy now? Are you not entertained? My lord. We're back. We're back. We're playing our game again. Dude, I'm so excited to play this again. I had to literally leave early last time. You'll hear my neighbors just blasting music loud as fuck. Golly! Can I not get a moment of peace? I'm trying to think of where we left off last time. What were they doing? Mama. I'm gonna behind you. No, literally. No, actually I got just boys. Just men. My boys. I need to get... I have so many posters coming in the mail too from Korea. Y'all know I love my proxy. She hooked me up this time too, so I've got like hella posters to hang up. It's gonna be so good. It's gonna be so good. I'm so excited. But we've made it. It's kind of loud for me. Hang on. She a little loud in my ear. Okay. I think what were they doing last time? The fireflies? Just jumped right into it. Alright. Let's see. Yeah, because I had to leave early last time. I had an emergency. I really had to be there too. Once I left and I had to deal with that, I was like, oh yeah, no, I should have been here. No, I had to be here. Your ass. I need to find a way to get my chat from TikTok to show up because I'm dying. No, these are children. This is a game where you grow up with your neighbor and y'all fall in love. I cannot with you. I have to, where is it? I'm like, that music's so loud. She's so loud. Yeah, you start from the beginning. You start as like childhood besties and then you grow up. It's so cute. It's like throughout their whole life. So we're still in the, you know, childhood phase. And they're just besties right now, which is very cute. This is bestie right here. This is the sister. For those who don't know, this is the sister, this is the bestie, and this is like the little neighbor kid that comes and hangs out with them. All right, let's see. Oh, that's right. She wanted us to do a race. She wanted us to race and we didn't want to go. So we stayed with him because we don't want him to be alone. We didn't want him to be lonesome. Okay. Fine, I'll be the winner whether you join or not. Oh my god, also y'all, I've been grinding Love and Deep Space all day. All freaking day I've been grinding that game. And I've been trying so hard to get the Raphael card. Rafi doesn't want to come home, dude. He doesn't. He's fighting tooth and nail. He's like, nope, sorry. Sorry, not happening. And I'm also just not spending any more money on any more pulls. So, we're kind of at a standstill here. We're at a stalemate. Like, I'm standing here like, come on, Rafi. And he's like, no. What are you gonna do about it? Spend money and then I'll maybe come home. And I have the precise wish on too. So he should, the next 5-star I get, he would come home. But am I gonna blow $20? I don't think I am. I don't think I am. I've debated it and I'm like, I don't think I'm gonna. Sorry, I don't think I'm gonna. He looks like he's homeschooled. He is homeschooled. I think. I don't know. I think he does go to school at some point. No, his backstory was really sad. Like, when you first meet him, he's like, I had to come with my dad. My mom's doing whatever she wants to do. Like, oh, it's okay, baby. It's alright. It's alright. We'll make you have friends. It's okay. Lizzie moved to lay down, and Shiloh did the same. Cove stood. Oh yeah, his dad's like obsessed with the ocean, so his name's Cove. Cove stood slightly to the side to get a better vantage point, and you stood next to him. Countdown. Cove stood up a little straighter. It seemed like he was taking his newfound referee duties seriously. Can I talk? No. Mama, not you leaving. You have a good night too, lady. 3, 2, 1, go. Lizzie and Shiloh took off, letting gravity do the work and rolling at high speed towards the bottom of the hill. Ugh. You and Cove leaned forward to watch them go, eyes peeled for which... Oh my god. Which of the two would reach the bottom first? They were both neck and neck until about halfway down the hill, Lizzie started to veer off to the side, giving Shiloh a huge advantage. She obviously hadn't noticed a thing, and soon as Shiloh reached the bottom of the hill, he jumped up excitedly and threw his hands in the air. I won! Almost immediately, he fell back onto the grass, still dizzy from his roll down the hill. Lizzie stomped out of the brush. She had ended up in... spluttering? I don't think I've ever used that word. Angrily, and brushing leaves from the front of her dress. Not bad, you got lucky. Let's do it again and see who wins for real. This is still so loud. Ooh. Kids, it's time to come in. No. I hate that word. I'm like, ugh. You snickered, feeling grateful that you hadn't been a part of the mini debacle. You caught Cove's eyes and saw that he was doing the same. It had gotten late and was beginning to feel just a bit chilly as you made your way out of the hills, but the cold in the air hadn't dampened anyone's spirits. The four of you walked back home side by side down your neighborhood street, discussing the evening, with each person trying to prove that they were the one who caught the most fireflies. You knew that whoever really did catch the most didn't matter much anyways. All that mattered was that you had a good time, which, judging by smiles on everyone's faces, you did. What are we gonna do? Oh, we can do different things. No, I think summer's gonna end. Yeah, summer's gonna end here. Whoops. I'm sorry. We're ending summer there. I want them to grow up. I'll never get tired of you. I still think the mom's a baddie. They both are. They both are. You stood beside your moms, Lizzie and Cove, as they oh my god. As the five of you watched the sun dip into the ocean somewhere far, far away. See, they get me flustered. I'm sorry. You like to imagine it cooling off in the water, resting itself before getting ready to shine brightly again tomorrow. That was a fun day. I didn't know they had magicians on the shopping street now. Neither did I. Oh no, we are so dull. So dull, let's get out more. He didn't do real magic, Mom. Oh. Here comes the big kid ruining everything, dude. How did you figure that one out? Because I know. That's not what real magic looks like. Well, Lizzie, dear, there's all kinds of magic in the world. Lizzie gave Mommy a suspicious look, but didn't dispute the claim. You looked over at Cove, who hadn't said a word since you started home. He didn't look upset, though, just content. You're aware he still hadn't quite warmed up to your parents. Well, we can't sit out here all night. Time to hurry home and get cooking. Who's helping with dinner? Lizzie immediately let out a groan. Mom, summer's almost over. The protest was obvious. You could practically see school on the horizon. You certainly didn't... Are we drag racing in my apartment complex? Okay. Oh, that's so ugly. I hate loud cars. I really do. Like, I have to drive on a major highway every day, to and from. I fucking hate loud cars. The minute they come up behind me and they rev that damn engine, I'm like jumping out of my seat. I do not find it cool. I do not think that you are the greatest thing since sliced bread. You are just quite annoying, and I think you're a tool. Sorry. When it's a girl, though, go, Batty, go. When it's a man, disgusting. Where was I? The cars got me distracted. You certainly didn't want to spend your last bits of freedom cooking dinner. You could do that any other day. Can y'all hear that too, or is it just me? Am I like hearing things in my head? I fucking hate that. You plan on going home? It is almost over. You tried to be subtle about your little mumble, but you saw Mom look down at you from the corner of her eye and knew she heard. Yeah, it would be evil not to let us play until dinner. You weren't sure evil was fair word choice, but not in any ways. At times like this, you had to back each other up. Soon we'll have homework and reading to do. We can't do work now too. Lizzie made her case and then stomped her foot in the ground. Ooh, I hate that. I hate when kids do that. Ooh. You mimicked her, feeling that would add something to the argument. I don't think I was that kid either. I never stomped. The minute that I got that look from my parents, y'all know that look. That look. It was like a. I knew. Ooh, 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 ooh. I'm gonna get my ass beat. Ooh, ooh. I shall behave. I'm an angel. I'm a saint. I'm misbehavior. Where did she go? No, ma'am. No, ma'am. I was. They whipped my ass into shape.
No.
Oh, come on, Pam. I can help you with dinner. Mommy leaned in for a hug, and you knew that you were very close to victory.
Okay.
All right, but as soon as dinner's ready, you allowed her coming inside, understood? Yes, Mom. Cove, dear, you're welcome to join us as well. You sent him a small smile, which he returned. Cove gave a non-committal shrug to your mom, which you took as an agreement. So much to do, so little time. Maybe I could still get a seashell. Oh, get the seashell bracelet at Tines and Trinkets. Ooh, or maybe the playground. Or fireflies would probably be coming out, right? We'll make our own plans. Lizzie had her own ideas of what she wanted to do. But what were you going to do? He glanced over to Cove, considering. A strong gust of wind made you shiver. Lizzie huffed as she wrapped her arms around herself.
Rude.
Doesn't the wind know that summer's not over yet? That's all Lizzie said before abruptly turning on her heel and heading off in the direction your mothers had gone. Where are you going? I'm going to my room. I have lots to plan if I want to make the most out of tomorrow. You thought this over, looking off towards the water again. Lizzie didn't wait, and long before she was disappearing off down the road. Meanwhile, Cove was going in the opposite direction, heading for the beach. We will stay with homeboy. The sister kind of annoys me. Cove gave you a smile that you couldn't help but return. He made a little gesture that you interpreted as follow me, and he started heading towards the waves. Cove knelt down, picking up something you quickly identified as a smooth rock. He reared his arm back, then tossed it out into the water. But he didn't care to try for that. The rock sunk. We'll be impressed. What are you doing? Nothing really. Oh, you tilted your head, wondering over the sudden pensive look on his face. Just thinking. About what? Cove was looking down at his cast, scratching idly at the pink surface, even though you were pretty sure he couldn't feel it. His brows were furrowed, and there was a frown on his face.
It's not fair.
I've had to wear this cast for ages. I can't even swim. Cove shrugged and didn't say anything. For a second, you thought maybe he didn't know, but he finally sighed. A few weeks. Oh. Let's see, that's not very long at all. That wasn't too bad, you thought. Then at least you'd be able to play normally at recess. And you sometimes got to go swimming during the school year, so maybe he could make up for lost time then. Cove let out a huff, plopping down into the sand. I can't believe summer's almost over. You sat down next to him and nodded in agreement, regardless of the sudden topic change. I don't want to go to school. I mean, I would. I don't want to go to a new school. I think it'll be the same school as you and Lizzie. My dad said something about that. Cool. You're gonna like it. Everyone's super nice. You'd only ever been to one school, but you were sure that his old school couldn't have been that much better. I will learn to speak at one point tonight, I swear. I really swear. I was never a kid that had to move and go to a new school. I really didn't. It was like the only time I went to a new school was like when you transfer like junior high and then high school. But like everyone that I went to elementary school with went to the same junior high school. And then I met like a few maybe new people. And then same thing, high school. I met a few new people in high school, but like all the same kids from, you'd pick like one junior high and then everyone all went to the same high school. It was like the same path. And if you did move high schools, it was kind of like a, I don't know. It was cool being the new kid. Like everyone wanted to know you. I don't know. at least at my schools, everyone like liked the new people. But I never had to move like that. Like, and then when I did move, I was already like a senior and I had a car. So I had a little beat up Kia. But other than that, like, I didn't have to move anywhere. But, you know, it ain't too bad. I did, though, like, spend summers in California with, like, family and stuff, though. So, like, I don't know. Like, I'd go outside at my grandma's house and there was, like, neighborhood kids playing and they'd be like, you know, kids, they stare. And I was just like, and they were always like, okay, my bad. Then again, he did have to make new friends and meet new teachers. It could be kind of scary. Oh, well. I'll skip that. Cove shook his head, then wrapped his good arm around his knees as he drew them to his chest. He heard a sniffling sound, and when he took a good look at his face, he realized that his eyes were wet. Oh.
I want to go home.
No, dude. Oh, no. You'd never had to move before, but you thought that you could understand. If you had to go to a new school all of a sudden with all new people, you'd probably be dreading it too. Even though you'd sort of maybe understood, you still weren't sure how to help. Okay, I'll see you later. No, Cove gave his head a small shake. No, I want to go back home. Right, Cove wanted to go back to his old home. The one that sat waiting someplace far from here. The one he would bring up whenever he felt sad. It had been a while since he had moved in, but he didn't seem to feel any better about being here. He settled back down to the sand, trying to consider what to do. I don't know if he'd like that, you know what I mean? Like, it could very much be his home, but I don't know if he'd be cool with that, you know? I'll say it. It's a really nice home if you give it a chance. Cove didn't respond to that. He just tightened his arm around his knees, resting his chin on them. Oh. You're not gonna leave, right? You'll still be around? The question was a little surprising. Of course. Your parents would have mentioned if you were going to move or something, right? After a second, Cove gave a little nod. Once I get my cast off, we could go swimming. Oh, he's so sweet. You were fine with him changing the subject again. Okay. You had to say swimming did sound fun, even if it was already getting chilly out. Cove smiled, then looked back to the waves. My dad keeps saying I'll get used to everything eventually, that I'd feel better then. It used to make me angry. I didn't want to get used to everything. You spared a glance over at Cove and saw the anger. Why do people keep just racing in my neighborhood? Saw the anger had slipped off his face in favor of something almost puzzled. But maybe that would be okay after all, as long as I really do feel better. I can't see it. You could remember a long time ago when you first started going to school. You had absolutely not been okay with the idea of being far away from your parents for most of the day, to listen to strangers tell you what you had to do, and to sit with kids you'd never met before. Things changing is hard. No, hold his hand. Make him feel better. He's so sweet. You're not quite sure what to say to that, and so instead you reach out and take a hold of Cove's hand. The one closest to you is the one in the cast, so you made sure you were very gentle. As you watched, Cove's eyes got a little misty once more. You got the feeling they were different tears than the ones from before, though. I hope next summer I'll go surf and go exploring and everything will feel like it's supposed to again. You gave a little nod, resting your head on your knees. The two of you sat quietly, just taking in the sounds of the waves. You'd hoped that Cove would be able to accept this place as his new home. You definitely try to help in what ways you could. There were so many wonderful things here Cove probably hadn't even seen yet. Lost in thought, you stared a bit when you heard a faint, familiar sound, the sound of your mom shouting your name. You looked over your shoulder, realizing it was probably time for dinner. Time had really gone by fast. You stood and dusted the sand off yourself. My mom's calling. It's time for dinner. You should come. Cove looked up at you, expression screaming reluctance, yet ultimately, okay. When you smiled, Cove returned with one of his own. Thanks. It was nice. No, it was nice where you were right then. But the two of you couldn't stay there in your own little world any longer. You were being called forward. So the both of you ran off towards your house, leaving the waves and summer behind. Oh my lord, I think summer's changing. Oh, she's bright. In between. Oh, shoot. Okay. We gotta change your hair a little bit. I always had short hair growing up. I never had long hair, so like me having like long hair right now, I'm like I'll lay on it and pull it, and I'm like, oh my god. Doesn't make much of a difference if the lips are thick or not. Okay. My feelings for Cove. We're not nervous of him. We feel relaxed and fond of him. Yeah, he could be a crush, but maybe we'll wait until she's a little older. What did I just do? No! What did a girl just do? I did have bangs like that. How terrible. Okay, we feel relaxed and fond of him. Relaxed fondness, yeah. Because I think we'll do the crush. Customize Cove. What? Oh my lord. Does he have glasses? No. He has a big old scar on his arm. He can have a puka shell necklace, I guess. I dig that vibe, I think. Yeah. PJ set. We'll give him glasses when he's in his PJs, I suppose. His athletic. Oh. Yeah. Yeah. Oh shit. Oh shit. Start playing step 1, 2, or 3 using the relaxed comfort level. Hey, we got a score. Oh, I feel like I'm gonna keep hitting this. Like I keep hitting my mic with this, like, freaking thing. Hang on, I need to make sure everything's good. If you all were here last time, this is like my first time in like, oh gosh. I just started dual streaming. Or not even dual streaming, multi-streaming, because I'm on 3 platforms right now. So I just have to like make sure that like everything's working properly before, you know, like I get nervous. I'm like, oh shit, am I not like doing well? Okay, let's see. No, I'm doing pretty good. Okay. Everything's up. We're good. Okay, sweet. August ended, September began. It was time to go back to school. Lizzie groaned and complained the entire first week. She hated going to classes. Still, there were interesting things to do that couldn't be done anywhere else. You weren't sure how Cove felt about it. He was enrolled that year. Oh, Lord. That was like a sign Cove would be staying in Sunsetburg for a while. At school, he was all right, but kept his distance from the other kids, from what you saw anyways. Teenage friendship. Aw, we're fond of him. Whenever he could, Cove stuck to you like glue. He didn't even mind that much when you didn't what you did to pass the time, as long as it was together. Oh. That year, the divorce of Cove's parents was finalized. You overheard your parents talking about it, saying Cove's dad got full custody. Oh. That's so hard, dude. His mom. Oh. At first, you were worried that meant bad news, but it had made Mr. Holden cry, apparently. Then you found out it meant Cove could keep living with his dad. He would only stay with his mom a few weeks of the year. Cove cried too, for different reasons, you thought. It seemed like Cove and his dad might move again, but Mr. Holden decided to stay after all. Mom asked him about it once. He said he didn't want to uproot Cove's life a second time. No, it's a good choice. Mr. Holden tried to get Cove to like Sunset Bird more. He had kept encouraging his son to go out and see the place. Sometimes Mr. Holden volunteered you to spend time with Cove. He seemed very confident that it was an efficient strategy. Cove never talked to anyone about what happened with his parents and withdrew whenever it was brought up. It was very hard for him, yet nobody knew how to help. Eventually, Cove stopped crying on his own. You couldn't understand what had changed. Still, you were worried about him. You could tell he wasn't completely happy. Maybe one day he could say out loud what it felt like inside. Oh. After that, it felt like things had gone back to normal, except what was normal didn't stay the same. Years passed and suddenly you were in middle school. You weren't a kid anymore. You were 13 years old. That officially made you a teen, even if your sister didn't agree. The toys and crayons that used to litter every free space in your room had been packed away somewhere, replaced by new hobbies. There were other changes, too. Cove's cast got taken off. It was weird to see him without it initially. Underneath the pink plaster ended up being a long, thin scar that snaked across his forearm. Cove's chest puffed out with pride when someone drew attention to it. He also went through a major growth spurt. He was the tallest student in his class for 2 years in a row. Cove will probably hold that spot again next time. In class, people knew him for more than just being tall. He also stood up because of how well he did in gym and other athletic situations. Over the years, he began opening up more too. You saw him talking amicably with other kids or neighbors from time to time. And the only kid that came to visit the old neighborhood when you were little, Shiloh, well, he was gone. He and his mom moved back to the south because of her work just 1 year after Cove came to Sunset Bird. It had really been upsetting when he left. Lizzie was inconsolable for weeks, but nobody talked about Shiloh anymore. It was a long time ago. You learned some heartbreaking things, became less sad the further away they were, even if they had never gotten any better. That was sad in its own way. Things at home were different too. You still lived with the same house and all that, but it wasn't how it was before. Ma dyed her hair purple, wanting something new, and liked it so much she kept dyeing it. You remember calling her mommy as a kid, but something like that seemed awkward nowadays. You were much too old for the word. Lizzie felt too mature for her nickname too, so she insisted on everyone calling her Elizabeth. So you did. Your mom soon gave her permission to go places other than the playground and shopping street, which she took advantage of. You rarely saw her around the old neighborhood. In fact, she started spending time with you. She hardly spent time with you the way she did before. Elizabeth instead associated with more and more girls from school who were her own age. Maybe the difference between 13 and 15 was greater than the difference between 8 and 10. You started befriending new people yourself, like Derek Suarez. He didn't live in the neighborhood or go to the same school. What happened was his and Cove's dad struck up a business partnership a few months ago. Since then, Derek would pop up in the area every now and again. It seemed Mr. Suarez was happy to let Derek tag along to his work if Derek had the time for it. Without a doubt, everyone and everything around you had changed in small and big ways. You had to. As time went by, though it was easy to settle into this new normal, then before you knew it, school was over and summer vacation had come again. Oh my god, another summer. It was the first day of summer vacation. The sun was hot as ever, but you were inside and away from its harsh rays. To be more specific, you were... Yeah, snuggle up in bed, celebrating your time off by sleeping in. Me. It was hot, but you still had the blanket up over your head to block out the sun. You didn't want it intruding on your lazy morning. Unfortunately, you hadn't prepared for an intrusion. From beneath the blanket, you heard the door creak open. You're still sleeping? Wow, get up. Morning. Morning, now get up. I will come over there. So much for a lazy morning. Mom told me to tell you that your friend's at the door. He brought some happy summer gift from Mr. Holden. Mom wants you to take it from him, say thanks or whatever.
Come on.
So come down already. Alright. Okay, fine. Elizabeth said nothing else and left, having done what was instructed of her. You rolled out of bed, stretching your arms up high and yawning. Time to get ready. You sat yourself in front of the mirror in a far corner of your room. Yeah, I'm pretty short. There was a lot of open real estate. The frame, you're pretty short. You could relate to Derek and how it felt to be smaller than people thought you ought to be. Your shortness seemed even more drastic when compared to Cove, who was unusually tall. I like my height. I like being short. If I was tall, I don't think I'd like it. That's just me, though. It suited you well in your mind. No, because everyone to me is like, you're so short. And I'm like, and? Like, where's the bad thing in that? I see no problem in that. Then you put the finishing touches on your outfit while ruminating on the situation. Careless as they had been, Elizabeth's words piqued your curiosity. Oh, my eye. You planned on going over to see what Cove was up to, so this worked in your favor. Your reflection grinned back at you. You were looking forward to seeing him. You left your room, taking an easy time down the stairs. It was so bright. Step 2, second chance. Second chance? Why is it a second chance? You spotted Mom first reclining on the couch. She held a magazine in her hands, which she was perusing through. Holy shit. Morning, Mom. She looked up at your greeting, a smile instantly appearing on her face.
Thanks.
Good morning. Thank you for coming down. Ma's at the door with Cove. He can't stay over today, unfortunately. Why don't you go and thank him before he leaves? You nodded and made your way to the front of the house. Just as you said, Ma was there making conversation. She must have heard you because she looked over her shoulder.
Oh.
Her purple hair. Even better. Look who finally made it, morning sleepyhead. Ma reached forward and you knew she was about to pat you on the head. She was taller than average for an adult woman, so at your height, you were absolutely tiny in her eyes. Okay, we'll laugh. Ma could be so ridiculous, you thought, but that was okay. You're the last one down today, you know that? Life isn't a race.
Honey.
I didn't think that excuse will work if you're late for anyone other than your own mother, though. With this... Not me, like, knocking over my freaking Stanley here. With a small laugh, Ma stepped aside. Cove was just as you remembered, exactly how you had come to know him to be. Ooh. No, he's awkward. He leaned uncomfortably to the side of your doorway as his bushy hair covered part of his face. His features were pinched in embarrassment as he shifted from one foot to another. He was holding what must be the much-talked-about gift. At first glance, you figured it must be a bouquet of flowers, then you gave it a real look. No, it was carefully cut fruit. It made a lot of sense that it was actually from Cove's dad. You had to suppress a laugh at this showing. You couldn't imagine many folks buying this sort of thing for their own personal enjoyment. That kind of arrangement was built for the presentation, likely to impress whoever it was inevitably going to receive it. It seemed no matter how long he lived here, Mr. Holden would keep going out of his way to be neighborly, and Cove would always be roped into participating. Cove smiled at the sight of you. The sting of his goofy errand. He was clearly embarrassed to be uneased. Hey. Oh, that awkward teen phase, dude, the worst. I remember, like, thinking, like, I wasn't too bad, and then I look back and I'm like, oh. Oh no. Oh no. It was so bad. Tis the worst. You smiled back. It was second nature to you. Cove had always been such a close friend ever since the two of you were kids. Hey, it's nice to see you. Aw, yeah, you too. Your grin widened even more. Every time he came, your mood was instantly brightened. Did it say instantly? I don't know, but you know what? We're going to keep it there. It was already shaping up to be another long summer with plenty of time for the two of you to have fun together. His awkwardness over the task started to creep back in, so Cove nudged the gift closer to you. He was ready to be relieved of it, and with that, the gift was accepted. I hope you and your family like this. It's a pretty good gift. I think so anyways. He smiled earnestly. Dad spent a lot of time picking out the best size and design. There were so many options to choose from. We'll go for it. Just thank my dad for all this, okay? All right. You gotta let it flourish and bloom here, all right? We gotta take our time. We can have a little bit of a comment here and there. I'm not gonna do all of them, but we have to play it cool. It's gotta flourish, you know? I wish I knew that now. I wish I knew that then. What I know now. Man. I look back and I'm like, dude, there were so many times I played uncool. Oh, how embarrassing. I could have played it cool. I could have been nonchalant. Nope. Nope. Awkward. So awkward. Ugh. Oh my god, I look back at like all of my crushes I had too, and I'm like, no. Oh, I wish I could crawl in a hole and never have to think about that ever again. I just embarrassed myself so badly. I was young and dumb. It's all right. Mr. Holden's behavior really was different from any neighbor you'd ever had. Though after 5 years, you were used to his antics, and you'd made... Oh my god. Sometimes I can't read. And you'd since made up your mind on what your opinion was. He is kind of handsome. What, are we going to make her think that? I don't know. He was great and kind of handsome to boot. Oh. He's nice. You know, he wasn't completely perfect, but he always seemed to try so hard for the sake of others. Your thoughts were quickly interrupted by a shout. There you are. You shared a confusing look with Cove, as both of you stepped through the open door into the neighborhood street. It didn't take long to locate the source of the noise. You spotted Derek just a few yards down the road. He ran up to you. I just they were confused. You didn't expect to see Derek today, though you never really knew when he'd appear. After stopping a couple steps away, Derek hunched over to catch his breath. Then he looked up with a wide grin. Hey, guy and gal. I was just at your house, Cove, but no one was there. So figured you'd be over at this place. See, like I've told y'all before, I don't usually say my stream name. I don't know why I get so, like, embarrassed. It's the name I picked. I put it all over my stuff. And then I have to say it. I'm like, I think I'm okay. I think I'm good. Then I have people come in stream, and they talk to me, and they'll say that, and they'll call me that. And I'm like, hey, totally cool. I vibe with it. I love it. It's super cute. Like, I love the nickname. Don't like saying it myself, though. Don't know why. I really don't know why. Maybe I'll get better with it, but... And I put this in here because obviously what else am I going to put? I'm good. We're going to just keep it at that. You know what I mean? But, like, fuck, man. Do you ever spend time in your own home, or are you always just here? Derek laughed at his own joke. He either didn't notice that it embarrassed Cove, or the embarrassment was what he actually laughed at. Oh, my lord. Derek turned to you. He was going to say more when his eyes widened and he gasped. What's that? You followed his gaze unsure, then you realized what he meant. You were still holding Mr. Holden's gift. Holding Mr. Holden's gift. It's kind of like a bouquet of flowers, but made out of fruit. An edible arrangement, if you will. They are very fun. I got one as like a birthday present or something. I had a family member bring it over, and they're like, look. And I was like, oh my god, fruit. I was so happy. I love fruit, so I just sat there and I just ate that. I was like, I'm good. Everyone can go. Leave me alone. I'm just going to eat this and have a grand time. It was so good. Nice. Can I have some? I haven't even tried any yet. Derek pouted at your words, not hiding his disappointment. Oh. Then he nodded his head as if to clear it. Anyways, that's right. I came here excited to say something big. He paused, possibly for effect. There's some other kid here in Sunset Bird. Cove was surprised as you were by the news. Such a reaction made sense. No one around your age had moved here since Cove did 5 years ago. Were they with their family? Maybe they were just cutting through. Nuh-uh. New kid was all by himself, just walking. Did you talk to him? Nope. Came to report the sighting right away. He said we had a sighting of a child. Gotta tell the friends. Kids are just so odd, man. They really are. The kid had green hair, glasses, was pretty small, and seemed really upset about something. I hope he didn't leave. You blinked, slowly looked over to your longtime neighbor. That sounds a lot like you, Cove, when you first got here anyways. Kinda does, doesn't it? That's weird. He sounded almost fond, a small smile playing on his lips. Derek snickered, good? What? Good-naturedly. Oh my god. I hate that I can't speak. I hate that I can't read. I'm not. I promise I'm literate, dude. I promise. I'm not. Ugh, words, I get ahead of myself and I get too excited and then I just don't. I need to slow down. I need to relax. I can see that really well now that you say so. But what'd you say? Let's go find Cove's lookalike. We should all meet him. I'll do it. Sure, I want to see who this person is. Derek grinned, then he pointed down to the street the way he came. Last time I saw him, the mystery visitor was going this direction. Nothing else needed to be said. The three of you were off, with Derek leading the way. Derek brought you to the beach, and as a trio, you made your way down to the shore to the old playground. You walked the familiar path in a comfortable silence. When you were almost there, you spotted the kid in question. His bright colors almost shone like a beacon beneath the rays of the sun. He scuffled around, kicking up the sand as he paced. It was true, he certainly seemed upset. But you didn't think he was sad, like you had originally pictured. No, with his erratic movements and scrunched up expression, he came off angry. You started to have doubts about this expedition. Maybe it'd be better if you left him alone and let him sort it out himself. Derek didn't feel the same. He waved wildly, calling out to the boy. Hey, guy over here. Oh. Hey, we should actually turn around. This kid looks unapproachable. The kid whipped around, an unimpressed scowl carving deeper into his face. His eyes were tired, but a strong, hostile energy still radiated from him. What is it? What do you want? The sharp tone made Derek flinch. He shifted on his feet. What's your name? Jeremy. Was that it?
No.
No. I'm Derek. It's peachy. I have to just do it to get used to it. And Cove. We were just walking around and saw you. We wanted to say hi. There aren't a lot of kids our age in the neighborhood. Yeah, so you know it's cool to see someone else here. Strangely, Jeremy grew furious by your response. If steam could erupt from a person's ears, it would have happened to him. They did bring me somewhere stupid, of course. I knew it. What?
My parents.
Okay. They were the ones who brought me here. I didn't walk to this town. Can you not figure that out on your own?
Right.
My dad brings me to Sunset Bird, too, when he has to come for work and all that stuff. It's not bad. That earned him a glare from Jeremy. Derek winced beneath it, glancing away. It was a struggle to remain friendly with Jeremy. This Jeremy guy. I mean, I wouldn't want to come here for a real vacation probably either. That's an understatement. This doesn't count as a vacation. It's a waste of time, a chore. I love how he's just looking at him like, I'd be embarrassed there, buddy. My parents' family is nearby, and we just had to come see them. If they're your parents' family, doesn't that make them your family too?
I guess.
That's a pretty good reason to come by. Did you want to go somewhere else? No. Jeremy crossed his arms with a huff. He turned away. They should have gone by themselves since they cared so much and left me home, but I'm not allowed to be by myself. It makes no sense. They're the ones who didn't know how to do anything. And I'm the kid. Eating your cereal. Yeah. Like, sorry you got stuck doing something you didn't want to do, buddy, but let's chill. As if that does anything. You turned to Cove, lowering your voice. The two of you aren't that similar after all. Jeremy must have had good hearing, though, because he caught the private exchange and scoffed.
Stupid.
Of course we're not similar. My eyebrows aren't stupid. Hey now. Hey now. Cove's cheeks flushed crimson at the insult. You couldn't be sure if it was out of embarrassment or anger, maybe both. Come on. How can you say that when you got a bowl cut? Honestly, that might be the move. Don't listen to him. They're really unique and special. Yeah. Cove smiled weakly. Special because how ridiculous they look, maybe. Patted Cove on the shoulder. Oh. Cove gave you a watery look in exchange for the silent support. Trying to talk to the rude boy clearly wasn't going to go anywhere. What's wrong with you? Instead of taking offense, Jeremy only parroted Derek's words in a nasally voice.
Wow, what is wrong with you?
Oh, little shit. Can I smack him upside the head? This is dumb. Jeremy stuck his tongue out and sulked away, throwing more sand everywhere as he went. You watched him go, hunched over until he became a speck in your vision. Silence reigned in his wake. The three of you tried to process what just happened. Can't believe it. What a mean kid. Derek wasn't kidding. By the sound of those earlier complaints, the new boy, Jeremy, was going to be in the area for at least a little while this summer. Oh. Derek sighed in dismay, plopping onto the ground. You followed, and Cove did too shortly after. There wasn't much else to do.
This sucks.
I was hoping we could meet someone fun, hang out maybe. He shook his head after a moment. He slowly turned to you with a hopeful expression. But you know what would really improve the day? What? He didn't respond. Instead, he used a hand to point right at the fruit arrangement that you were still holding. This fucking kid, dude. You'd completely forgotten about it during the mini-drama that unfolded. You had gotten used to the wait. Glancing over to Cove, you noticed that he was eyeing the fruit. He must want some too. Why not? Derek perked up immediately at your words. He reached out for a skewer, hesitating slightly once he was inches away.
Are you sure?
You nodded. With an eager grin, he plucked out the prime row of fruits. No! Cove grabbed one for himself after. Only you were without a skewer of your own. Pineapple. Dude, pineapples are the best. The pineapple was cut to look like a flower. It was the obvious first choice. Derek ate a pineapple skewer, enthusiastically finishing it within moments. That was amazing. It's not different than any other normal fruit. It's kind of worse. These have been out in the open with their skins off for a while. Ew. Sheesh. Hey, you two remember the Land Before Time? That fruit thing makes me think of it. The dinosaurs all like the leaves that were shaped like stars. Oh my god, yeah, they did. I forgot about the Land Before Time, dude. That was such a good movie. They were so sad though sometimes too, no? Like the dinosaurs would get in like fights and shit. What movie like really made me sad as a kid? I'm trying to think. Like I couldn't watch Toy Story 2. Even though it's my favorite Toy Story now. Every time Jessie got abandoned, cut the cameras, I'm crying. Cut the cameras, I'm crying. I had a Jessie doll my mom got me. And she was like, you gotta take care of her. Like, you can't, like throw under the bed or she'll get sad. Dude, that scarred me. That scarred me. I know my mom was just wanting me to take care of my toys and, like, not, like, throw them around and, like, like, shit costs money, obviously. Like, as a kid, my parents were like, don't ruin your toys. I know she just didn't want me to lose it, but dude, that, like, stuck in my head. I was like, oh my god. For years, dude, my Jessie doll was, like, primo condition. Like, I just was like, I'm never gonna abandon her. I'm never gonna leave her alone. I honestly think to this day, she is in a box. But I've kept her, I think, to this very day because I'm so butthurt about it. I'm so torn up. I'm scarred. It's the emotional damage, dude. I'm trying to think of like other movies. Anything that had animals getting hurt, like I couldn't watch anything like that. Like I just was always so sad. Tree stars.
Yeah.
Chomping leaves looked so delicious when they did it. And there was that scene with the pretty trees and all the dinosaurs came and picked everything off of them till there was nothing. That's us right now. Awesome. Love that movie. Me too. The three of you continued like this for the next few minutes. Eventually, display was barren. It looked weird when devoid of fruit. It did help me make you feel better. Ooh. Derek was right. It was so good you were already brightening up from the earlier drama. Hey, yeah? The two of you met eyes casually. Thanks for what you said back then. It was nice. Not everybody thinks like that guy. Oh, it's okay. He was just being a jerk. Derek chimed in strongly. Don't listen to a Cove. He's the problem. People shouldn't say those kinds of things. Yeah. Derek leaned back on his arms. He contemplated the sky with a content sigh. So are you both ready for summer break? Yeah. Cool on you? Wish I could say the same. It still feels like there's a lot to plan for. What about you, Cove? Are you ready? I think that depends. Before you could say anything else, the light atmosphere was shattered.
Hey!
You glance over your shoulder to see your sister. She strode closer and closer, appearing none too pleased. I've been looking for you all over. Ma said you and Cove ran off with a thing Mr. Holden bought for us. Oh, she leered over you with her arms folded. So where is it? Well, it's gone. What do you mean, gone? She moved over to the side to face... You moved over to the side to face her completely. She zeroed in on the bouquet in your hands, which was now populated exclusively with skewers dripping in juice and tiny flecks of leftover fruit pieces. Her mouth dropped open and the tone of her voice rose.
What?
Seriously, what were you thinking? It was supposed to be for all of us at home. She glanced at Cove, who sat beside you, and continued mockingly. Even if you did have an in with the delivery boy, this was up to Mr. Holden. Cove gave you a bent smile of support, which didn't help disprove her accusation. Sorry. Elizabeth narrowed her eyes, not at all placated. Oh no, I think I hear the mean kid coming back. We better get out of here. Elizabeth blinked, confused, and looked around.
What?
I don't see anyone. Oh, she's gonna tear him to shreds. Derek didn't bother explaining. He just launched to his feet and ran off. Cove hopped up too, gladly taking the opportunity to exit the situation. He followed after Derek, but he sent a look to you from over his shoulder. You turned to watch Elizabeth. She stared back, brow raised. Without a word, you two got to your feet and bolted down the beach. Unimpressed, Elizabeth rolled her eyes.
So immature.
She shook her head as she walked towards the house, not bothering whatsoever to follow. Oh. Meanwhile, the three of you made it back to the shoreline. Derek pumped his fist, grinning in triumph. We escaped, and I shall live to see another day. Victory! You threw up your arms in celebration. You chuckled together, walking further down the beach side by side. You definitely wanted to stay outside a little while longer. You had gotten a bit of your scolding from your moms for not saving any of Mr. Holden's gift for Elizabeth, but you didn't get any real punishment for it. Instead, while you were out with the boys, Elizabeth returned home to share the news. The three of them went to get dessert on their own. It was declared even by your parents when everyone got back and the event was settled. That was a while ago now. Later that night, you found yourself seated near the kitchen counter. Oh, your fingers drummed on the surface as you waited, your gaze trained on the phone. You're waiting for a call tonight, specifically from your cousin Leandra. Yeah, you didn't want to miss it accidentally. Your uncle, aunt, and Lee used to live many hours away. Your family only saw each other a few times for big occasions. A while back, you thought they'd move closer to you than ever before. Oh, a while back, though they moved closer. Good freaking Lord. Than ever before, you now hung out regularly. With school being out, you're positive she's going to come over a lot more. The two of you were the same age and got along well. She used to be really fond of Lizzie, Elizabeth too. But now that your sister became allergic to interacting with her own family, it tended to just be you and Lee who spent time together. Yeah, she was your only friend who was a girl. You weren't all that close with any other girls your age. You had plenty of other friends. They just happened to not be girls. Then the shrill of the ringtone announced an incoming call. You jumped before grabbing the receiver and pressing it to your ear. Okay, we'll do this one. You were greeted by a disoriented, high-pitched giggle.
What?
Why do you sound so weird? Mom answers the phone like that sometimes. It's supposed to be polite. You should go with hi. That was something a robot would say. There was static on the end as if Lee was shifting wherever she was. So can you believe school's actually over? I thought it'd never be done. Now we don't have to do any of the boring stuff and we get to hang out whenever we want. Speaking of hanging out, Lee, can you wait a second? Let me just head to my room.
Oh, yeah.
You got up from your chair, or your seat at the counter. Luckily, the phone was wireless, so you didn't have to worry about any of the cords tying you down. Dude, I used to have a wireless landline in my house when I was a kid. Now, that's just not even a thing anymore. Like, people don't have landlines anymore. I'm like, what the frick? I don't know. It must seem weird for, like, my grandparents who, like, look at, like, you know, the shit that they had. And then now it's like everything that you need is on one small device in your hand. Wild. I don't even want to know what's going to be like when I'm a freaking old person. What the hell? I don't know, man. With the way shit's been going now, I'm like, we're fucked. We're fucked. Your mom said a rule about not going moving the phone unless a call was in progress, which is why you'd been sat by its cradle waiting for Lee to call. It makes sense, I guess. It was nice to keep everything in its proper place. I mean, I can't even remember how many times the phone would ring and my mom would be like, "Where did I put that? Where's the phone? I can hear it, but I don't see it." So, I don't really care. But now that Lee had called, it was okay for you to go upstairs to your room and talk to her. You made your way up the stairs smiling. After you had arrived, you had shut the bedroom door firmly behind you. Oh, lordy. You took a seat on your bed. "All right, I'm here."
Cool.
"Hey, did you know the girl down the street from me has her own phone now? A cell phone. She doesn't even have to wait for someone else to stop using it or anything." "Wow, really?" The thought of someone having a phone that was all their own seemed unbelievable to you. "Right? I wish I had one too, but my parents said I couldn't get my own phone until I'm more grown up." Dude, I had a slide up phone. I didn't have a flip phone, I had a slide. Like, that was my first phone. It was a slide up. And then when I was in high school, I finally got to, like, move up in the world, and I got an iPhone for the first time. And it was a refurbished iPhone 5. And then I moved up and got, like, I don't think I ever got the 5C. I think I wanted the 5C, but I had the 5, and then I got the 7 Plus, and I felt so cool, because it was, like, the rose gold, and I was like, oh my god, I'm so cool. And then what else did I get? I had the 10, so I had the red one, and then I had the 11, I think. I had the blue, like the dark navy blue, and then I got the, what was it, the 14? The 14, yeah. I got the 14 Plus, and it was yellow. And that's what I've had, like, on stream. Y'all had seen me had it. And then I literally just upgraded, like, not too long ago. I got the 11 Pro. Or not the 11. Why do I keep saying the 11? The 17 Pro. Good God. Help. Help me. And honestly, I like it. I just don't like that it's so small. Like, I'm not used to such a small phone. Because I've always had larger phones. And now I'm just like, what does one do with such a small phone? I don't know. I could have gotten, like, the, you know, whatchamacallit. Could have gotten, like, the Pro Max, but I did not. So I was like, I don't need that. I don't need all that shit. But I'm trying to get this thing off my phone. I have a little keychain holder. And it's very cute, but I'm kind of tired of having it on here. ADHD in full force. Live streaming, and I'm over here like, I should probably take this off my phone. Whoops. Whoopsie daisies. I wish they changed their mind. We could all call each other every single day, and no one would be able to stop us. How great would that be? Really great. We could even stay up late talking about whatever we wanted to do. Did y'all have, like, a DS or anything like that? Like a Game Boy, whatever. Am I showing my age? Now that's like, people are like, that's so vintage. I'm like, shut the fuck up, dude. I'm not that old. Please stop. But I had a Game Boy Color. Like a pink one. And then I had a DS. A pink DS. And I didn't get like the 3DS or anything. I just had like a DS. You know? And I remember, like, it's literally like the memes that people do, where it's like, mom comes in or you hear the footsteps and you shove it underneath your pillow. And I'd always get caught because you'd hear, like, my freaking Nintendo just, like, bark. And I'm like, I'm screwed. I'm fucked. Or I'd be playing, like, a princess game. And it was like, do-do-do-do-do-do-do. And I'm like, you know, I got caught a couple times and I got in trouble. Lee sighed thoughtfully into the receiver. At least they said I could have it someday. I can't wait. She sighed dramatically. I bet I'm not going to get one until I'm all the way in college. Squeezing the phone between your shoulders and ear, you puffed up your pillows and made yourself more comfy. It was strange to think at the time, when normal school would be over, you'd have to choose whether or not to go to college. School was such a big part of your life right now. Didn't try much. Yeah, I didn't really care about school. I didn't care as much as I should have. Now that I'm an adult, I'm like, why the fuck? You know, like, you always pay for the sins of yourself, you know? But, I just never really, like, you know, I just didn't care. I didn't really want to be there. I also had undiagnosed ADHD, so your girl, like, didn't do too well in school. I mean, I did, but my attention span was that of a squirrel, so wasn't the best. Sorry, I found a way to get this off safer than, like, breaking it. Or not. Or, yep, yeah, I did. Yeah, I did. I have to get... I was wanting to change my photo card anyway. Y'all know me, I change my photo cards quite often on my phone. Right now, I have Utah. But next, I will have Dan. I will have Dan. And then I'm just gonna hang this, like, put this on my... I'm gonna put this, like, in my little bookcase. Hanging up my bookcase. I'm gonna make sure I keep that sticky set up. It's still very sticky. Yeah, no, look. See, like I said, I get distracted, y'all. Y'all know me, I get distracted very easily. Look at these two baddies. Icons. That is where all my merch is coming from, too. It's all Ignite the Dawn. I'm gonna fuck shit up. I'm so excited. But speaking of, tomorrow's Ignite the Dawn day. Oh my god! So tomorrow's Ignite the Dawn day, and then the next day is Jinx day. What? I'm so excited, dude. I'm so ready for Jinx day. I know it's gonna be horrible, though. I know shit's just gonna start going down left and right. Also, two big things today. Y'all know me, I like to yap about my yaoi. It's a good time. Whatchamacallit? Backlight. Oh, so I wake up every morning and I read my updates every single day, right? So I wake up and I'm immediately like, where's my app? Usually it's either I start the day by buying coins or I make sure that I got enough to read all my updates. Then I read. Like, it's the first thing I think of when I get up. I'm like, what we reading? So today was Backlight. Did not know it was the end of season 2. Fucking demolished me. It was so sad. It is so heartbreakingly sad. They just confessed. They just got together and shit's just fucking happening again. I'm like, just leave these two alone and let them be in peace. Please. Let them love each other and just be okay. Nope, apparently that's not good enough anymore. So I'm real upsetty sketty. And then, y'all know this is my favorite. I literally have a tattoo of him on my arm. And no, I'm not talking about Nakium. But funny enough that my 2 tattoos are now being animated. Well, Painter of the Night's getting a live action. I'm still wary about it. But Low Tide is getting animated. The way that I screamed. I saw Teju move, and I was like, I is going to reignite my love for this again. I will never shut up. I will never stop talking about it. I'm so unwell. So unwell. I cannot wait to hear his voice actor. I already know it's going to be so good, too. It's going to reignite that obsession. Oh, it's so good. So good. Because right now, I mean, my obsession's already, like, ignited because the side stories are going on. It's like a AU, which is really good, but it's gonna be good stuff. An animation of it. And it already looks so well done, so I hope they stick to it. I hope it doesn't end up to be like a Uzumaki, the one that they have in HBO. The first episode, beautifully crafted. And then it got to, like, 2 or 3, and the characters are, like, cutting into the ground. And I'm like, Junji Ito, they did you so dirty. I'm so sorry, King. I'm so sorry. It was not fun. Okay, let's continue. So I stop yapping here. Coasting by had become a routine for you. Teachers had warned you that you wouldn't be able to do that forever, but you figured it was good enough for now. And that was me. I coasted just to get by. Let's see. You were confident your grades would remain great. You could definitely turn things around from here on. Yeah, you tried to sound engaged, but your mind had decided to go back to school despite the season. Lee knew you too well to be fooled. You sound so spacey. What's up? Just thinking about school. Lee groaned. Are you thinking about how we don't have to think about it because it's summer? That's what I'm doing. Come on, it's not that scary to think about. No matter how much you wanted to enjoy your free time, the creeping dread of knowing it would come to an end was always there beside you. I get what you mean. Though I guess school isn't all that bad. You can do some good things there. You just can do more when school's out. Let's see. Gym's pretty good, I guess. There are all sorts of sports stuff during gym. Oh yeah, it can be fun sometimes. Learning new things can be cool. I just wish everyone did okay with how they taught things, not just some people.
Me too.
I think we're just gonna say that's all. And that's pretty much everything that's good about school. Okay, point taken. Now I decree the topic of school is officially closed. We have to talk about summer first before we can start plotting the rest of our lives. I've got some plans already. Ooh, tell me. I'm gonna visit my cousins. You chuckled, of course. What's something you want to do? The first thing that comes to your head. I want to spend time with people. People? I hope that means me too. You lean back in your bed, settling in as you continue chatting to your friend. Or with your friend. It's your cousin. Cousin friend. Even though it hadn't been that long since you last saw her, you'd be seeing her soon and found plenty of time to talk. Oh my god. My hair always gets caught in this cord and I'm like, ugh. Let's see. For one, the events of the day. You sat up straighter. I was with Cove and Derek today and we met a new kid. Like at your neighborhood? His parents are visiting family, so it sounds like he'll be around for a little while. I don't know how long. What was he like? Mean. He kept snapping when all we were trying to do was talk to him. He just kept being rude to everyone, but especially Cove. It was awful. I don't think I want to meet him. You want a boy to stay away before me even meeting him? That's an unexpected twist. Your cousin was pretty popular with the boys who knew her. She seemed happy enough to have them around until they started to annoy her. Who are you to talk? Cove and Derek are always around. They're both boys, you know. That's true. Lee laughed at your affirmation, deeply amused. Even though she couldn't see, you shook your head at her, grinning to yourself. There was a stomping noise approaching your room, heralding the arrival of your irritated older sister. She flung the door open and frowned, etched on her face.
Come on.
How long are you going to hog the phone? Glancing at your watch, you realized that your quick call had gone on much longer than anticipated. Elizabeth held in her hand, the other one lodged on her hip. You noticed the realization on her face. She noticed the realization on your face. Time's up. Yeah, gotta go.
Bye.
See you, tell Elizabeth and your moms I said hi too. You barely pressed the end call button when Elizabeth whisked the handset away from your fingers, began dialing someone new as she strode out of the room. Your mom's voice called from downstairs. Hey, has anyone seen the phone? I'm using it. With that, she shut your door behind you. Silence was left in the wake. Lord. Good Lord. That was one way to end your first day of summer break. Sometime later, it gotten dark outside. You laid in bed wide awake. Your windows rattled, sun startling you badly. You flinched, staring over at it with furrowed brows. From your vantage point, you only saw the moon and an open sky. You were curious. What had caused that noise? Cocking your head, you sat up and moved closer to the window. You wanted to get to the bottom of this. To your utter shock, your gaze was met by a pair of familiar ocean blue eyes. Cove? You squinted. Yep, Cove was right outside your window. Oh no! Your house was very angular and some parts stuck out further than others, so theoretically wouldn't be hard to climb around on. Still, just because somebody could didn't mean you expected it to ever happen. To his credit, Cove was doing fine. His feet were braced against a section of the wall that jutted out, his arms flexing with the effort to keep him upright. He easily lifted a hand and waved at you from the other side of the glass. You hurriedly opened the window. Oh. Cove climbed over the edge, releasing a breath once he was safely inside. Oh. What's up, Romeo? I needed to talk to you and couldn't wait until tomorrow. If I rang the doorbell, I know your moms would have answered and they'd make me go home. I didn't really want to explain why I was coming over anyways. I don't want to talk about it. Well, besides with you, I mean. That's why I did that. And as unexpected as this was, you were touched. Cove felt like he could tell you what was wrong. I might have tried calling or something, except my dad was on the phone. Cove suddenly looked very crossed. Dad, he was talking to Mom. Still is, probably. You raised your eyebrows. Cove had eavesdropped on his parents' phone conversation. We're not going to comment on it. There were other things to talk about. Are you going to stay with your mom for a while again? Every year, Cove was sent off to live with his mom for a few weeks when it happened. When it happened varied. Sometimes he would go during winter break, but usually he went during summer. Even though it was hard news when you found out he was leaving you and missed seeing him those weeks, you understood. To your surprise, however, he shook his head. That's what I thought too, but no, that's not what they were saying. My dad asked my mom not to have me leave this year. He said she could come stay with us. You waited for him to continue. He didn't. The conversation abruptly dropped off. You couldn't help but stare at Cove. There was a complicated mix of emotions on his face. What'd your mom say? She told him she'd come. I know she's coming soon before school starts. Oh. You had heard Cove talk about his mom a lot over the years. He'd tell you about past memories or what happened while he was visiting her. Still, it was one thing to hear about somebody or someone and another to actually meet them. Very soon you were going to see Cove's mom in person. You were taken aback by the news, so you can only imagine how Cove felt. You looked over at him. He was pacing across your room, his features pained with dread. Before, they'd barely stay in the same room long enough to have lunch. Now we're going to be all together again, the three of us after all this time, just for a few weeks. I know I should probably be happy that they can talk to each other now. I'm still not. I'm just confused and freaked out. And now I feel really bad for feeling that way. His fist tightened, his eyes became misty. I shouldn't keep getting like this. It's been a long time already and I'm not a little kid. Though he wouldn't meet your eyes, you knew he was waiting for you to say something. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with feeling bad, but it's hard to deal with, yeah. The tense line of Cove's shoulders eased. Good Lord, sometimes I swear I'm like, can I just have a night, please? Thanks, that makes me feel a little bit better, like I'm not freaked out for no reason. A momentary silence fell over the two of you. You marveled at how the day started. You had woken up eager for summer vacation, but now things seemed so crazy. The mini debacle of Mr. Holden's gift, the newest addition to the neighborhood being so rude, as if that all wasn't enough, now Cove's mom would be living with Cove and his dad again. Your whole life was kind of like that, it seemed. Complicated and hard and different. Why couldn't things just get better with time? The sound of your name, said quietly, pulled you from your thoughts. Cove gazed at you, concerned.
Are you okay?
No. Who, me? I'm worried about you. You don't have to forget about yourself for me. I want to listen to you, too. Cove grinned reassuringly. It was small and delicate, but you knew it was genuine. He had come here conflicted and upset, only to end up worrying about you. He really was a great friend. You know, I don't want to talk anymore about this. He looked away, lips thinning into a line, and rubbed at his arm. But I kind of don't want to go back home either. Could I stay a little longer, just doing something else? He appeared equal parts hopeful and vulnerable. How could you possibly turn him away? You can always stay here, Cove. You held his gaze confidently, hoping your words got across to him. Cove perked up at your response, a smile appearing on his face. He immediately took a seat on your bed, not afraid to get comfortable in your room. You felt a little better at the sight somehow. You still had a lot of worries, but you were glad he was here. And not just tonight. You were glad he came into your life in the first place. That was a change you'd never want to undo. It felt totally natural to let him into your little world. That initial friendship had deepened so much over these past few years, and you were certain there was room to get even closer. You joined Cove in your bed, taking a seat across from him. He smiled at you again, but you could tell this time it was half-hearted. He was still easy to read. Though he didn't want to talk about his mom and dad, he must be thinking about what happened and what's about to happen. Oh, we'll hug him. You moved closer and wrapped your short arms around him as much as you could. It wasn't much, but you hoped the contact helped even a little. Cove froze up, startled. After a moment, his arms came up and returned your hug. The two of you remained like that for some time. He might have mumbled something to you, but it was too quiet to tell what it was. When he pulled back, his expression had softened into something more natural. Conversation was stilled and broken often by silence at first. Then both of you were able to get into your usual candor. As your secret hangout session stretched on, you thought that you truly wanted to keep having moments like this with him. You hoped a day would never come when life decided that the two of you would have to part ways, and you knew Cove felt the same way. You opened your tired eyes, groaning as they adjusted to the bright light that was streaming through your window and warming your peachy skin. See, that time I'm okay saying it. With a loud yawn, you rolled away from the sunlight and blinked a couple times, clearing the sleep from your eyes before realizing with a start that it was actually morning. You couldn't even remember falling asleep. Cove had crept through your window during the night, and the two of you spent time together, trying not to wake your parents. You must have fallen asleep while you were hanging out, but couldn't put a finger on exactly when. You wondered how late Cove had stayed before heading home. You rubbed your face and yawned again, contemplating whether or not you should get out of bed and get ready for the day, or stay snuggled up a little while longer. Oh? Until your gaze landed on an instantly recognizable mop of pale green hair, and you bolted upright and gasped in surprise. He never left. He was still there in the morning. Cove! No! Oh no! He had fallen asleep while sitting on the ground and precariously leaning his head to the side of your mattress. With your shout, Cove's eyes snapped open and his head slipped from its source of support. He didn't stop going down until he smacked right on the floor with a crack. You clamped your hand over your mouth and looked down at him with wide eyes, curled up where he had landed rather ungracefully. Oh, are you okay? You winced at his tumble, hoping no one else in the house had heard either of your outbursts. Yeah, I'm all right. Cove rotated his forehead a little, and you weren't sure what that was entirely true. If either of your moms found out Cove had slept here last night, the two of you would be in big trouble. Cove blinked at you a couple times, his eyes growing in panic as some thought that only he could hear settled in his mind.
Oh my god!
Oh no, I fell asleep. You weren't exactly sure what to do as you watched Cove pace your room, looking around frantically. Cove stopped mid-step and you wanted to ask him what he'd been searching for, but you guessed he wouldn't know the answer to that himself. Despite that, he hadn't calmed down completely. The atmosphere was still frazzled. Alright, it's gonna be alright. You just need to leave before anyone else notices you're here. If they knew we would have heard about it already. Cove nodded, his shoulders tensed as he fixed on you with a firm stare with his turquoise eyes. Letting out a heavy sigh, he ran ahead through his hair in exasperation. He couldn't look at you as he spoke. I'll see you later. You were confused by how this all had played out, but you'd hoped that it was true. Right, bye, Cove. At that, you were suddenly wrapped up in a tense embrace. As panicked as he was, this seemed to be something he couldn't forget before leaving. Thanks, again. You're a good friend. He firmly whispered the words into the top of your shoulder. But you were let go before you had a chance to respond or even fully react. In a matter of seconds, he had climbed over your bed and opened the window. A cool breeze rolled off the ocean, fluttering through Cove's hair and filling your room with a salty scent. Cove fearlessly stepped out onto the ledge. You wished him luck. Good luck, be super careful. You weren't sure if he heard you or not, but he kept going, one foot in front of the other with increasing speed until his form disappeared out of sight. You stuck your head out of the window as far as you could see to try to keep watch. He walked the full length of the ledge before jumping down onto the top of the garage, then lowered himself onto the fence. From there, he finally dropped to the ground. He threw a thumbs up at his successful climb. He ran off towards his house without stopping, disappearing behind the side of another building. You had to admit that you were pretty impressed at how doable he made that look. With a little sigh, you reclosed your window, deciding that there was nothing more you could do. You hopped off your bed and got ready to head downstairs for the day. Put on our slippers. You knew it was summer, but your slippers were comfy and cozy and made you feel better whenever you wore them. You took the stairs, slowly attempting to mask your face in a look of innocence. You were sure that someone would have come into your room if they had heard anything strange, but you couldn't be too careful. You had to play it cool. When you stepped into the living room, Elizabeth was there, tapping her finger on the counter. Good morning, Elizabeth. She looked over at you immediately, her eyes squinting at the grating.
Why?
Why are you being so weird? You hadn't even done anything. Your big sister never missed a beat, unfortunately. You turned and offered her a tight smile, and her lips pursed together even tighter. Ooh. You shrugged it off. I'm not. You spoke so nonchalantly that you almost thought she believed you, but you knew better. Further suspicious squinting occurred as she waited for something, but ultimately she rolled her eyes, and you weren't sure if you were in trouble or not. She didn't seem to care enough to dig any further. Whatever. Then she walked straight out the front door, letting it slam shut behind her, and you let out a brief sigh. Elizabeth went out most days to hang out with her friends from school around town. Today you were actually extra glad for it, though you were also grateful she hadn't left the house any sooner and risked running into Cove. It looked like you were getting away with it. Oh no. Breakfast was eaten in peace and alone. Your moms were both up at the time you had gotten up. They had left you a serving of food from the breakfast they made: hash browns, an omelet, fruit salad, and there were a few sausage links. How the heck did her moms not walk in there and be like check on her? I think we're gonna get caught. It took a little bit of everything. It was tasty. You appreciated that there was a variety in the meals your moms made. The day lazily drifted by at home, and eventually your parents returned. You pulled open the fridge again, lingering in the frosty air for a moment before grabbing a bottle of ice-cold water and taking a long drink. It was perfect, balmy summer afternoon, and you had decided to head outdoors and find something to do. You hadn't decided on what that something was yet, but you were sure something would pop up to occupy your time. As you were heading out the front door, you paused for a moment. You hadn't seen Cove since he left that morning, and you couldn't help but think about what had happened to him. Would it be bad to go over to his house right now or to call to check in? You stepped out of your house, still stuck in an internal debate with yourself, when a voice caught your attention. Confused, you look over to where an unrecognizable woman was waving at you, a friendly smile plastered on her face. It's Cove's mom. Oh, shit. You racked your memory for where you might have seen her before, but nothing came to mind. Not at your school or from the country club your moms took you to. You had absolutely no idea who this woman was. The woman crossed the road towards you, and you were a little unsure whether you should stay put or go back inside the house and lock the door. That's Cove's mom, ain't it? Oops, sorry. Was that presumptuous? I've heard about you, but you have no idea who I am, do you? That's Cove's mom. You shook your head, and she removed her sunglasses to reveal sparkly ocean blue eyes, and all of a sudden she seemed a little more familiar. My son lives here, and my ex too. Oh. With a bent smile, she lifted a hand to point at the condo across the street from your house. She was Cove's mom. You didn't know why you hadn't realized sooner, but now that you'd gotten a good look at her... She does look young. She does. It was hard to believe that she had a 13-year-old kid, yeah. No matter your thoughts on her, you had still taken it back that she had appeared here so suddenly. Cove mentioned she was coming, but you hadn't gotten the impression it would be the very next day. She extended a hand again, this time for you to take, and you studied the manicured fingers in front of your face, and the assortment of bracelets that dangled from her wrists. I'm Kira Priest. You can call me Kira. Sure. You reached out and took her hand, and she shook yours firmly, grinning wide. You already knew that.
I do.
Cove mentioned you to me before. It's so nice to officially meet you. Cove talked about you to his mom. He hadn't mentioned how he said things about you to her. Nice to meet you too. She smiled at you fondly, her eyes crinkling at the corners. Oh, the sound of a door opening and closing caught both of your attentions. And when you turned towards the sound, it was to find Cove exiting his house, his eyes skimming the ground. Considering how tall he had grown, you kind of figured his mom had also been tall, but she was much more on the shorter side for an adult anyways. Cove's height must have come from his father.
My baby.
He does not like this lady. There you are. I thought you were going to keep me standing out here all day. You tried to catch Cove's eye as he walked towards you, but his gaze was firmly fixed on the sidewalk. When he finally crossed the road and looked up, he gave you a pitiful look. After the way he had acted last night, you knew he must be feeling pretty mixed up about this. He tried to wordlessly express that you understood. Cove and I are heading into town to grab something to eat while the snore is at work. Oh! Kira beamed at Cove and ruffled his hair, which only seemed to upset him more. You assumed the snore she was talking about was Mr. Holden. Hey, you should come with us. I'd love to get to know you better. Yeah, you should come. Oh. There was a pleading in his tone that you couldn't miss. Of course, we're running by your parents first, responsibility and all that. It'll give me an excuse to meet them, which I need to do at some point. It's important to be neighborly if I'm going to be roosting on the street for the time being. Any whoosies? Let's go. Cope's like, my mother is embarrassing. Oh, my hair, dude. It's like in my freaking face. Kira walked ahead towards your house, then you hung back with Cove, who crinkled his nose as he watched her. Sorry about her, but I do really want you to come. I don't want it to be just the two of us, not right now. You leaned in close and whispered while checking around for anyone else who might hear. What happened? Did your dad know you were gone? Cove shook his head and sighed heavily. Dad was so focused on Mom showing up that he didn't even notice. I thought when I heard them on the phone last night that it was going to be something they were planning for the future. This morning, Dad said it was supposed to be a surprise, and I guess I was surprised. She's going to be here all summer. Oh, you were surprised to hear that too. Cove sighed again, even heavier. I'll go with you if you really want me to. He smiled, his shoulders relaxing a little bit in relief. Thanks, that'd be cool. The two of you headed over to where Cove's mom had just knocked on your front door and stood behind her. Mom answered the door after a minute, her eyebrows lifting in surprise at the group as she found in front of her. You realized that, like you, she would have no idea that it was Cove's mom who was hanging with you. However, after blinking at the woman a couple of times and looking between her and Cove, the realization seemed to strike on her. Hello there, I'm Pamela. Yeah, she is young. I see you've met my kid, and I'm guessing you've already known Cove for a while. Kira laughed, and you and Cove exchanged looks at your parents' weird sense of humor. I'm Kira Priest, Cove's mom. It's so nice to meet you. She's gonna try to flirt with these moms, ain't she? Girl, get out of here. Oh. I'm not gonna lie, 3 baddies in one room. No! A head of purple-brown hair caught your eye as Mom popped up behind Mom, squeezing herself in beside her. We have company. I was wondering what all the commotion was. She grinned excitedly at Kira. The two of them introduced themselves and shook hands. Cove smiled at Ma shyly, and she gestured her hands towards the living room. There's no use hanging around the doorway. Why don't you come in? I'd love to, but I promised to take my son out to eat, and I wouldn't want to hold you up with a surprise visit. Oh, I understand. You're welcome to stop by any time. I'll take you up that offer when I can. Count on it. Would you mind too much if she came with Cove and I, my treat? We wouldn't be driving, just a quick walk down the road. Sure, that sounds nice. I hope you all have fun. You gave your moms a look, and they smiled at you fondly. You were happy they were letting you go. You could tell that Cove really needed support, and you were ready to be there for him. Expect us back in an hour or 2. We look forward to seeing you again. Take care. Your parents waved goodbye to the 3 of you as you walked back up to the street. There was the sound of the front door closing behind you. I'm pretty positive I saw some restaurants when I was in the taxi not too far from here. Yeah, it's a tourist town, isn't it? There's a lot of them around. It was kind of strange to see Cove give someone this much attitude. If he wasn't in the mood to be nice, he genuinely just kept talking to himself. Kira put her hands on her hips and smiled at her son. You sound like the area expert. Do you have any recommendations for a place nearby? Not really. Kira pouted him a little and turned to you instead. How about you? Want to point me in the right direction? Sure, I have a couple favorites. You'd been to a lot of places in town, and there were a couple that stood out from all the rest. There's a Chinese restaurant that me and my family go to all the time. It's my mom's favorite. There's also a tropical themed place that tries to be sort of fancy. Both sound like a treat. I'll leave it to you to pick for us since Cove is going through a phase over there. Oh, I hate when parents do that. Like, oh yeah, my kid's acting like an asshole today. Like, my kid's just like really moody today. Like something really like, you know. Your kids can have mood swings, dude. Like, kids can be upset too. Kids can have feelings too. Like, I hate that shit of like, my kid is just being like this today. It's just such a, I don't know. For me, that just feels like such a toxic, like, way to talk about kids. Like, I'm not a fan. He huffed at her and turned his face away. All right, the tropical theme place. Will you show us the way? You nodded, taking the lead of your little group as Cove and his mom followed behind you. Together, the three of you left the neighborhood behind. Alright, I think I'm going to save so we can start somewhere kind of fresh tomorrow. So we're starting at the restaurant. So it's now saved. Oh! So now it's saved. And we can go from there. But yeah, I appreciate y'all for being here and hanging out with me. I had fun. And I will see y'all probably tomorrow. I don't think I have anything going on. So hopefully I'll see you tomorrow. Expect me to be here. And I will see y'all